Imagine carrying a sack full of stones everywhere you go. It's heavy, right? Now, imagine that every stone represents a mistake, a regret, or a painful experience from the past. The more you hold on to it, the heavier it gets. Now, I want you to imagine what would happen if you start letting it all go right here, right now. Can you take the first step towards freedom? On today's episode of Diverse Discovery, we are talking about how to leave our past behind. So are you ready? Hi everyone, welcome back to Diverse Discovery. I am Rashida Alhassan, a facilitator, a mentor, and a lifelong learner. Now let me share a story that resonates well with leaving our past behind. So there was a woman named Amara. Every day, she walked along a particular path under the scorching sun with a sack long across her back. But this wasn't just any sack, it was heavy and unbearable. With each step she took, it dug deeper into her shoulders, leaving them sore and aching. Her legs felt like they were giving out as she pressed on. She didn't know why she kept dragging that sack with her, but somehow the thought of dropping it never crossed her mind. One day, after hours of walking, Amara finally reached the baobab tree on the side of the road. The shade beneath it looked so inviting that she decided to rest. She sighed heavily, relieved, as she finally let go of the sack and dropped it beside her. Sitting with her back against the tree, Amara noticed how good it felt to stop carrying all that weight. Just then, a man appeared on the same path. He too was carrying a massive sack, looking just as tired as Amara had been moments before. He walked up to the tree, let his sack fall on the ground with a heavy thud, and he sat beside Amara. They exchanged tired smiles, and they sat in silence for a while. Just then, the man looked at his sack and said, "This thing is heavy, isn't it?" Amara nodded, feeling the weight of her own sack, even though it was on the ground. "What is inside?" she asked the man. The man opened the sack and pulled out tattered, crumpled papers, each one representing a memory, a mistake, a regret from the past. He said, "All these things I have been carrying with me for years. Every bad decision, every failure, every time I get hurt, it's all here with me, weighing me down." Amara was surprised. Then she quickly opened her sack. Inside her sack were the same type of papers, moments of pain, memories of failures, regrets, things she had held on for far too long. She never realized how much she had been carrying. For the first time, she understood why her journey had been so hard. Have you ever felt like Amara? Like you are carrying the weight of your past without even realizing it? How many times have you found yourself holding on to something that hurts you, thinking that you need to carry it, even though it is only making your journey more difficult? Think about it. What is in your sack? What regrets, what mistakes, what painful memories have you been dragging along for years? Now back to the story. The man looked at his pile of papers and then said something that would change everything for them. What if we just start letting some of this go? At first, Amara hesitated. Could it be really that simple? Letting go? She had carried this burden for so long that it felt almost normal to her, but the thought alone intrigued her. The man reached out for a crumpled paper, a memory of a business failure, and threw it into the air. They watched as the wind picked it up and carried it away, disappearing into the sky. Surprisingly, his sack immediately looked lighter. Amara, encouraged by his actions, decided to try it herself. She pulled out a memory from her sack, an embarrassing mistake she had made years ago that still gives her sleepless nights. Slowly, she crumpled it in her hands, feeling the shame she had carried for so long, and then let it go. The wind took it just like the man paper, and for the first time, her heart felt lighter. One by one, they started pulling out their papers. The painful memories, the regrets, the moments of anger and frustrations, and they let each one flew away. With every paper they released, their sack grew lighter, their minds clearer, and their bodies freer. When they finally stood up to continue their journey, it felt like they had been transformed. Their steps were quicker, their shoulders no longer burdened. Amara looked at the man and said, "I didn't realize how much I have been carrying until now." The man smiled and said, "Sometimes we think our past defines us, but in reality, it only weighs us down if we let it." Now, what would happen if you start letting go of your own papers? Imagine the freedom you would feel. What's one mistake or regret you have been holding on to that no longer serves you? Now, let's break this down. 1. Let go of the past. Like Amara, we all carry emotional baggage. Mistakes, regrets, missed opportunities, they all weigh us down over time. It feels natural to hold on because we think it is part of us. So start small, just like Amara and the man under the tree. Begin letting go, one step at a time. Acknowledge the past, but don't carry it with you forever. Write down one thing from your past that has been haunting you. Crumple it and let it go. How much lighter would you feel? Self-forgiveness is key. Forgiving others can be hard, but forgiving yourself can feel impossible. We hold on to self-blame and guilt, afraid that letting go means forgetting what we have learned. But self-forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting. It means learning and moving on. Like Amara, understand that holding on only weighs you down. Forgive yourself for the past mistake and move forward with a lighter heart. 3. Your past does not define you. When you hold on to your past, it is easy to believe that it defines who you are. But like Amara and the man discovered, your past is just a collection of experiences, not a label on who you are today. Recognize that your future is wide open. The person you choose to become is not defined by the mistakes you made. Leave those papers behind and walk lighter into the future. 4. Release to grow. Growth comes when we stop being weighed down by our past failures. Amara couldn't walk freely with her sack full of papers, but once she started letting go, she found it easier to move forward. Releasing the weight of your past frees you to grow into the person you are meant to be. Don't let your past mistakes stop you from making future progress. Let them go and grow beyond them. Amara's story shows us that holding on to our past can weigh us down more than we realize. The heavier your emotional baggage, the harder it is to move forward. But when you choose to let go, you can finally walk lighter, freer, and ready to embrace new opportunities. Now this week, I challenge you. Sit under your tree, take a moment to reflect on what has been weighing you down. Write down a past mistake or a regret that you have been holding on to, then crumple it and throw it away. Let that be the first step in lightening your load and moving forward with a fresh perspective. If you enjoyed this video, I'm sure you are going to enjoy all other videos on this channel. Do well to check it out. Make sure you subscribe to our channel and join this amazing family. Leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. Share this video with your friends and families. And remember, life is a tapestry of diverse experiences. And here at Diverse Discovery, we are weaving it together. Until next time, keep exploring, stay inspired, and keep discovering. I'll see you in my next one. Bye for now.